Chinese civilians intrude into Ladakh ahead of Xi Jinping's visit to India today. This fresh transgression in Ladakh has stalled an irrigation project near the LAC, with the External Affairs Ministry downplaying the reports ahead of the Indo-China talks. The question is, will Narendra Modi be raising this border issue later on when he meets the Chinese president?
Till recently, the face-off on the LAC was between the soldiers. But now in Ladakh, these Chinese civilians are holding out a warning to Indian civilians on Indian territory. Backed by the Red Army, these Chinese civilians intruded from Toshigang village across the LAC and have been disrupting work on an irrigation canal in Demchok on the Indian side.
लगभग हफ्ते से ये चला आ रहा है और आज भी ये कंटिन्यू है और उनकी आर्मी भी हमारी आर्मी के साथ फेस ऑफ कर रही है और सिविलियंस हमारे सिविलियन के साथ फेस ऑफ कर रहे हैं.
Used to describing these blatant provocations as differences of perception, the MEA has reacted with caution.
There are unresolved issues, including the boundary question. And if your question is that would that be addressed, my answer to that is yes.
But the latest provocation in Ladakh comes just ahead of Chinese President Xi Jinping's visit to India.
जिन्ना राष्ट्रपति ने गुजरात में मुलाकात अत्यंत महत्वपूर्ण है.
Even as Modi envisions a partnership for the future with China, these irritants have been growing.
At least if you cannot resolve the boundary issue permanently, have an interim solution. We had last year some BDCA, Border Defense Cooperation Agreement. That doesn't seem to be working today.
But there are signs that China may be ready to walk the pragmatic path on thorny issues.
我们认为，长期以来，中印保持了边境地区的和平与安宁，这一问题没有影响中印关系的发展。
Yet, when Modi plays host to Xi Jinping, the shadow of what's happening in Demchok could weigh on the agenda. Bureau Report, Times Now.
And breaking now, sources telling us that the flag meeting that took place on Tuesday between India and China to resolve the Demchok incursion was inconclusive. Sources telling us that India and China are likely to hold another flag meeting today. We have Abhishek with us. He is, of course, tracking the upcoming meeting between the Indian Prime Minister and the Chinese President. But Abhishek, even with that in the backdrop, what we are seeing is, face-off at Chumar, the incursion at Demchok, and we are seeing another flag meeting that has taken place, which was inconclusive. What is expected today?
Well, you see, this component of the visit of Ahmedabad is basically being billed as some kind of chemistry building component between the two heads, Prime Minister Narendra Modi and President Xi Jinping. He arrives at around 3 p.m. There is a photo op of shaking hands between them at Hotel Hyatt, following which there are some MOU signing ceremonies specific to Gujarat. And then the two leaders go to Gandhi Ashram and then on to Sabarmati riverfront, where there is a cultural program, and amidst that they have an early dinner before leaving for Delhi. So in effect, what is being expected here is that they loosen up a bit, chit-chat, try to measure up each other, and then on to Delhi, where delegation level talks, and you can expect that the sticky points of the relationship, namely the border issue or the visa, stapled visa issue, all those things would be discussed. But I must tell you that the focus from both the sides as a build-up to this summit meeting between the two heads has been on business aspect of the relationship. When Narendra Modi, the Prime Minister, had visited Japan, he had got promises of investments worth $35 billion. And now what we are hearing is that the Chinese side might try to better that figure by promises of investment in India, maybe to the tune of $100 billion. A range of sectors where these investments investments are to be promised, including upgradation of the railway infrastructure, then other infrastructure issues in which China can collaborate with India, in line with Prime Minister Narendra Modi's theme of making India a manufacturing hub. So all those aspects to be discussed, but so far as the Ahmedabad leg of the visit is concerned of the Chinese president, that is essentially being seen as the personal part of the visit, in which both the sides would try to measure up each other and interact with each other in a little relaxed environment as compared to the more ceremonial part in Delhi. Back to you,
Okay.
Tina.